Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and it is chit chat time. Oh my goodness, the gardens are all done. I don't know whether I'm coming or going right now. I am so tired. And I just got done freeze drying and packaging ice cream sandwiches. I'm going to show you how nice these turned out. Look at how nice those turned out, friends. Those are ice cream sandwiches, freeze dried. I got a whole mess of them. I got freeze dried stuff everywhere. I sell it out in my market stand and it sells beautifully. And I have had some people put in orders. I'm working on filling those orders. I have to go out, let's see, probably tomorrow. I'm going to harvest quite a bit of my herbs, my oregano, thyme, and sage that I have growing out there. I can't do my basil yet. That's not big enough. But the other stuff that I have, I need to get that in here and get it freeze dried. I've been selling a lot of stuff in my market stand. It's been busy trying to keep up with it. But my goodness, the planting is all done. The gardens are all in. Now all I'm doing now is just when I go through and weed and stuff like that, wherever there's a bare spot, that could use something, I just plug a bean seed in there. So usually a bush bean, unless it's next to the fence or whatever, then I'll put a pole bean in. But I had it all done. Oh my goodness. That was work, friends. And it still worked because maintaining it. The topsoil that I got. Last year when I got topsoil, I usually get a little bit every year and mix it in with my compost, to amend my beds. But last year's was beautiful. This year, it's beautiful this year. Don't get me wrong, it's good topsoil. But there's a lot of grass that's coming up in it. And it's keeping me busy, keeping it out of my raised beds. So, yeah, it's all right. We'll work with it. I hope y'all have your coffee. Oh my goodness. My daughter's been using my car, okay? And I told you about the time we went to Shipsawana, and on the way back, the car broke down. Well, it wasn't the belt, it was one of the pulleys that gave out in it. And my son fixed it beautifully for us. Well, my daughter was headed to Saginaw to graduation party for her in-laws, the in-law side of the family. And the alternator went out. She had all the kids, her and her husband, and all six of them were in there. We couldn't go get them because we don't have enough room. We've got the Outback and the truck. The truck is just for two, and the Outback will only seat 5. Plus, our Outback, the tires, my husband fixed the brakes on them, but the tires, we needed to replace the tires because they were like down to the belts or whatever. The wires were hanging out. Our tires were pretty sad looking. Well, we got them finished today. We got new tires put on the car, so it's all good to go. But that didn't do us any good for the other day. They ultimately wound up renting a van, that was big enough to haul all of them. But we had to pay to have the car towed back home. One of her friends, a young gentleman, went with his, trailer, flatbed, whatever you want to call it, and he got it because the tow companies wanted $600 just to haul it. But it's like 100 miles, so, it's not cheap. So he went down there for $125 and picked up the car, brought it all the way back to us. So there it sits in the driveway. And my husband took her today and he said, "You're going to buy a car. I'm done with this." He says, this car is going to cost me a boatload of money, nickel and diming me to death. So they went down and she did find a car and she did get a car. So it's not that she couldn't afford one. She just was working so much she just didn't have any time. And my husband said, no, you're taking time now. So Dad took her down and they got a car. I think she bought a really nice one. She bought a 2018 or 19 yeah, I forgot already. It's a nice one though. Not Escalade. That's a Cadillac. Equinox, I think, is what it was. Equinox, something like that. Anyway, it doesn't have third row seating like her other one did, but that's all right. They've got their truck. Her husband's truck will hold all 6 of them, so they're good to go. Anyway, my husband and his friend are out there putting a new alternator in the car. And I teased her. I said, that car never broke down on me. It was a $7,500 car. That's what they had it listed as. Well, my son was the mechanic for that car dealership. He was their master mechanic. And he got a discount. So he told me, he says, Mom, come and get this car. It's a nice car and it'll do you just wonderful. And that was about 3 years ago now. About 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. I only paid $3,500 for it. I got a half off. Perfect. He got me a good deal. So I can't complain. You couldn't rent a car that cheap. Anyway, so it's nothing major that's gone wrong with it. It is just simply the pulley petered out on us, and so did the alternator. But otherwise, we've never had vehicles break down. And my daughter says, well, you never drive it anywhere. How's it going to break down? You're always home. Friends, I've driven over the road for 14 years, somewhere in there. I love being home. It's like an extended vacation. People would say, well, where are you going on vacation? I'm going home. People go away from home for vacation. I go home for vacation. So anyway, that's it. We got the 2 cars and the truck. We don't need no cars or nothing. Just get that fixed and it'll be fine. I don't take it very far anyway, just around here. And but oh my goodness, I am so glad the gardens are planted. Everything is growing beautifully. I did a garden tour with you yesterday. It's doing wonderful. And my neighbor, she just finished getting her stuff in. The big bed that I showed you, I don't think there was even any dirt in it when I showed it in my garden tour. But now she's got it all full and she's got it planted. So it looks like it looks like I'm growing a lot of stuff, but the 3 beds in the very back that I showed you in the video, those are hers. And yes, it's on my property, but you know what? It didn't bother me. They asked me if they could, put some raised beds up there. Absolutely. If you're going to grow food for your family, absolutely. You have at it. So that's fine. The bunnies are old enough. My Amish friends are going to take all the bunnies. 2 of them are going to friends of mine who wanted them, and the Amish are taking the other ones. And, we got the buck and the 2 mamas, so darn well those mamas are pregnant again, because, man, do they breed. Wow, I can't believe it. They can get pregnant like not even a week after they have a litter. I think it's just within days they can get pregnant again. So I told my husband, the buck's going. But darn well those 2 females are going to have at least one more batch of bunnies. And then after that, no more bunny rabbits. My husband said, well, get rid of all of them. I says, oh yeah. And then he's trying to entice me. He said, well, you know, if you got rid of those rabbits, we actually built that for chickens. You could probably get more chickens. And I'm like, hey, yeah, that's a good idea, you know. Chicken math. I lost count at, what, 48, 45, 48? I don't know how many chickens I got. I probably got 50 or maybe 55. But what's 10, 15 more? They got lots of room there. So I might just get rid of the bunny rabbits. They don't really do nothing for me. They were just pets for my grandkids, and my grandkids really lost interest in them. And they just wanted them because they were babies. You know, they love the little babies. But they got 2 bunnies at their house now. So I might very well give all our rabbits to the Amish and get me some chickens. I don't want any guinea hens. I don't want any turkeys. I got something in my eye. My eyes have been bothering me. But I'll take, or ducks, but I'll take more chickens. Speaking of my eyes, friends, I bought glasses. Let's see, when did I have my eye exam? Last October. I had an eye exam. Now, I've told you before, I've had trouble with my eyes. I've got a prism in my eye. Yes, I'm cockeyed, if that's what you want to call it. Cockeyed, slap-eyed, whatever you want to call it. But it's not enough for you to see. You can't see my eye wandering when I'm looking at you. I mean, I can look at you, and none of my eyes are going, you know, any way but straight. But it does pull a little bit. And it pulls enough to affect my vision. So I've always had a prism in my right lens, which keeps my eye straight. And my vision is beautiful with that, right? Well, I had my eye exam. My original eye doctor, who I've been going to at Reamer Eye Center, he retired, okay? He always had my glasses just top notch. I could see beautiful through. I never had problems. Okay, so when he retired, it was after that I had my eye exam come up. And I went in, everything went good, you know. Well, I got my glasses, and I couldn't see nothing through them. It was like I put them on and things were crooked, or I'd look at my keyboard, instead of your keyboard going straight, mine bowed like this. It was all warped. My vision was warped. And I'm like, I can't wear these things, you know. I feel like I'm going cross-eyed through them. So I took them back to her, explained to her what was going on, and she says, oh, we can fix that for you. So a couple weeks later, they said, we redid the lenses. It should be good now. You know, we might have had too much stigmatism correction in your eye. Well, I put them on, same thing. And I said, they're still not right. And she kind of argued with me. She says, oh, yeah, they're right. And my normal gal wasn't there. There's one gal that I always talk to when I go into the eye doctor. She's fantastic. And if you're watching, hello. She's a sweetheart. Well, she wasn't there. And this other gal, who I didn't see, I don't think she's there anymore anyway. But she kind of argued with me. She said, yeah, that prescription is right. That prescription is right. I said, no, it's not. Well, I got frustrated. And I said, you know, to hell with it. And I walked out. Well, I just tossed them $650 some, but I just kind of tossed them in my box. And I thought, well, I'll wait a while and see what happens. Maybe I can talk to the other gal, or maybe I'll try it next year. You know, I was so frustrated. I'll just leave them sit there, and maybe next year they'll get them right. Okay? So I've been wearing my previous reading glasses to do my close work. You know, my computer and stuff. But I still have trouble seeing far away and seeing clear. So I told you the other day, I was at the dentist office, and when they told me how much I owed, I busted my glasses. I leaned on them like, what? Don't tell me that. I'll have a stroke. $800. Anyway, I broke my glasses, these ones. So I had to go to Reamer. My husband says, oh, I can fix them. No, we'll go to Reamer. I love you, but you know what? We'll go to Reamer because my glasses were crooked. I can't handle that. So when I went in there, she's like, what are you wearing these for? Why do you need these fixed for? And I told her, I said, listen, those glasses that I bought back in October are not right. I said, and she says, well, you should have brought them back. I says, I did bring them back. And they fixed them. I said, you remember that? She says, right, yeah. And I said, they still weren't right. And she said, well, you should have brought them back then. I said, no. The girl argued with me. You were nowhere to be found. I said, she argued with me, and they're just not right. So I just forget it. I'm all done with that. Please fix these. These are good. I can see through them. And she says, no, I'll fix those. But you bring your other glasses in. So the next day when I went in there, they retested my eyes, and I'm making this into a long story, and I'm sorry. To make a long story short, they re-examined my eyes. They somehow mistakenly, they did my prism in my right lens just fine, but they also put a prism in my left eye, which I never had. So that was what was making my vision go all screwy. This one was making my eye straight, but this one was pulling my eye out. Same thing, just flipped around. So now they discovered it. They are fixing my glasses, and in about 2 weeks, I should have my glasses back. Thank you. Praise the Lord. Amen, Jesus. Now I'll be able to see. It's so hard. And then, I can't wear these for distance because they're readers. And I can't see wearing them all the time. Where my other ones, I have a progressive lens. Enough with the glasses. I've had the worst luck with glasses this last year since my eye doctor retired. I could just go and hunt him down and make him come back to work. Tracy brought me goodies today. We should see what we got in these goodies. Now, you all know that I never keep none of this. Let me say that right away, because people think, well, why? Look at your pantry. Why you don't need none of that stuff? No, I don't keep none of this stuff. I pass it on to others who need it. Instead of it getting thrown in the garbage, they bring it to me. Look at that big thing of cornflakes. That's wonderful. I pass it. Look at, friends. This stuff, you know how much this, I freeze dry my own for my own personal use, but you know how much this stuff is in the grocery store, the powdered milk? It's crazy. There's 2 of them here. I've got quite a few friends who use these, who really need to use those, they need them. This is all canned stuff. Oh my goodness, this is vegetable soup. What is that? Vegetarian beans. Those are good with hot dogs or sausage for a quick meal. Applesauce. More applesauce. Well, we got canned meat. We got white chicken. Canned white chicken. And it's the flip top one. Those are nice. Oh my goodness. There's 2 of them. More canned chicken. There's 3 of them in here. Oh my gosh. This is wonderful. There's 4 of them. Boy, I know a few people who use those that just struggle to put, and I mean, that's an understatement when I say struggle to put food on their table. And when I get a hold of this, it's like heaven falling in their lap. And I just call them and they come get it, and it helps to stock their pantry and keep food on their table. This is, there we go. Apricots. Unpeeled apricot halves. Lots of fruit. in this one. And beans. Those are good fillers. What is this? Apricots. My mother used to love apricot jam. She used to love it at Christmas time when I'd make the thumbprint cookies with the apricot jam in them, because my grandmother used to always make them and my mother loved them. And oh my goodness, I miss my mama. I miss her. But I'm getting better, friends. I guess I've accepted it because I really have no choice. Let's see, we got apricots and we got applesauce. But you still always miss. You miss them. When something exciting happens, who am I? I don't have nobody to call. Nobody except my daughter. You know, and that's just not your mama. But her and I are very close. My kids and I are very close. More of this vegetarians. I sometimes have a hard time getting rid of this. Here I go, talking off on a tangent again. I sometimes have a hard time getting rid of that. People don't want that soup. I had about 10 cans of it, and I just couldn't get rid of it. I couldn't get rid of it, you know, and I told them, I said, you can take it, and you can add it to a casserole. Excuse me, my whole face itches. Pollen floating in the air. You can add this to a casserole, you know, and it's wonderful. That's what I did years ago. And more applesauce, and my grandkids eat applesauce like crazy. So I've still got home canned applesauce and home canned pears for my grandkids. But sometimes when I run short of that, if I have an excess amount of applesauce, I'll use a couple cans. And the shelf-stable milk. People use this like crazy. This is nice stuff. And what's the date on here? This is usually a year out. March 2024, almost a year out. So that's nice. It can sit on there. It can sit on their shelf, and they can save it for wintertime. Beautiful. Look at all those goodies. There's going to be several people that are going to be happy to get a hold of this stuff. And I got all this applesauce. How many jars? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 still on my shelf. I don't keep them. And I've got 4 more of these. This is one of those times I'm not going to be able to get rid of them. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cans of soup on my shelf. I don't know if anybody in my little group of YouTube friends on here, any of you guys use any of this, you know, any of you get, these are like, this isn't government. Yeah, maybe this is government commodities. I don't know where Tracy gets it from. She gathers it from a bunch of places. But I think this does come in the government commodities. But if there's anybody on here who utilizes this, who's not sure how to make a meal out of something, or would like some meal ideas, we can whip together casseroles, because there's people that I know that would love to have a ready-made casserole for their freezer as well. And I can donate the meat and use some of this stuff to put it together, and give you some meal ideas for those of you who may, you know, use a lot of this and aren't sure how to make a meal with it. Because friends, I'm telling you, when my kids were young, I learned how to make meals out of pretty near nothing. Yes, I did. I also got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 12 big cans of salmon. I have not found anybody yet who likes canned salmon. And I thought, you know what I'm going to do if I can't get rid of the salmon? Because I'm not going to throw it away. Absolutely not. That's not even an option. I'll put together salmon patties and I'll freeze dry them, because that would be good. Or else I'll freeze them. I'll do the ready-made salmon patties and I'll freeze them, and I can donate them to, there's an elderly couple in town that probably would, they won't use it, they won't make their own, but they'd eat it if you make it for them. Let's say that. I've done that many times. I might just do that. Make a bunch of, I could use all those. I got 10 or 12 cans of salmon, and we could do a freezer meal with it. Salmon loaf is good too. And it's good to make, it's just like meatloaf. You know, the next day to have a sandwich with salmon loaf is really good. But I don't mind canned salmon, and I love salmon patties. I love tuna patties too. But I don't have any tuna with this. I've only got my own. But we should do, we should make up those salmon patties into, I got lots of eggs. And I got lots of breadcrumbs. I got everything I need. I could make those into patties for the freezer. And then give them to those I know who will eat them. That's a good idea. That's a good way to get it off my shelf, because I also have to go through here and start rotating stuff, because it's coming time to start canning again. So I have to clean and organize and rotate my pantry. So we may be in here doing a chit chat while we tidy up this pantry. I'm just almost overwhelmed with freeze-dried stuff up here. I got to get it down in my root cellar. My root cellar is not going to be big enough, but I am going to take and start advertising my freeze-dried foods on like Facebook. What is it? Facebook Marketplace, I believe is what it's called. You know, for Northern Michigan area. And if there's any of you that, I have to be careful. I don't know if I can ship freeze-dried foods over the Michigan border with the cottage law. I don't know how that works. I have to check into it, because we always got to be, you know, running up to par. But I know I can sell a lot of it in Northern Michigan. Or Southern Michigan. I can sell it all over Michigan. I just don't know if I can sell it. I know you can't sell your baked goods across the border unless you deliver them, you know, face to face. Michigan is persnickety. But I don't know about the dehydrated and the freeze-dried, because that definitely is not time or temperature sensitive. So I'll find out. But I am going to sell some of it, and I've been selling a lot of it in my market stand. My market stand is doing fantastic. So anyway, friends, oh gosh, what else do I have to tell you? The bunnies are going to be gone. You've seen the gardens. We pulled stumps out. I showed you that. We filled those in today, and I spread grass seed all over this backyard. Today I got my, we brought our big grill up, our Blackstone grill. I got that all cleaned up and ready to cook on. That's it. There's not much else going on right now, except the free goodies and freezer meals. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. With that freezer meal, I need to make some of those, the salmon patties. I'm going to use all those cans, and we'll make them all into salmon patties. I got my Big Daddy bowl. We'll do that, and I'll show you a real nice recipe for them. Also, I had 4 pounds of burger in my fridge today that I needed to get used up. And I made hamburger gravy with that. Well, there's a lot left over. And you know, I'm not going to freeze the hamburger gravy. I thought, you know what I can do with that? We can make shepherd's pie with that leftover hamburger gravy. Perfect. My daughter's family will love that, and so will John. He loves shepherd's pie. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow. I'm going to show you how to use leftover hamburger gravy. You can use it for a lot of casseroles. Perfect. It goes well in tater tot casserole too. But the other day, I was going to tell you, I took about a pound and a half of that burger out of there. I was trying out a recipe. It was a brand new recipe that I just found. And sometimes I like to try it out. If it's a good recipe, then I share it with you guys, you know. Well, it was a good recipe, but I'll never, probably ever make it again. It was spicy mac and beef skillet dinner, okay? And it was with shell macaroni, or shell, not macaroni, shell pasta. The medium shells. Let's see, what all did it have in it? It had burger, beef broth, water, shells, macaroni. I call it macaroni, but shell pasta, cheddar cheese soup, and a little bit of salsa. It's supposed to be like a spicy macaroni beef skillet. Well, I told my husband, I said, you know what? It's too late to be trying to make any condensed cheese soup because I can make that. And I figured, you know what? I'm just going to whip this together the quick, fast, easy way, see how it tastes, if it's going to be a good recipe. And then if I show it to, you know, my friends on YouTube, I'll show them how to make the condensed cheddar cheese soup, homemade, to go with it. My husband went up to Dollar General and he come back home without the cheddar cheese soup. He said they didn't have any of that, but they had this cheddar sauce. And I thought to myself, well, it's not much different, you know. He's like, throw some milk in it. It'll be just fine, right? Men. And I thought, no, I don't need to throw any milk in it, but we're going to use it. So I used it. I used about 3/4 of the can because it only called for 10 ounces. And then I put my salsa in there. And I thought, oh, this is going to be so good. Let me tell you what, friends. That stuff was good. It is good. But I thought my heart was going to burn right through the back side of me, the front side of me, the top of my head. I had heartburn so bad I could have breathed flames. I can't eat that cheddar sauce, and then it made me sick. Oh my God, my guts were just rolling. That I can't do that spice. I can't do that spicy. Forget it. We're not making that. It's good. If you find it on the internet, it's called, I think Campbell's put it out. I think Campbell's Soup Company put out the recipe. Spicy mac and beef skillet. Something like that. But spicy mac and beef. That's all I know. I can't eat it. It just about killed me. I thought my body was going to be on the way to the moon, on fire, you know. Heartburn. Up my throat, my nose. I think my ears were burning. That was bad. Anyway, so that's it for today, friends. Not much more going on. We're going to do some freezer meals probably tomorrow, or let's see, tomorrow's what, Tuesday? Either tomorrow or Wednesday. We'll be doing some freezer meals. And I gotta get stocking up on the freezer. I gotta get the freezers cleaned and rotated and, you know, sorted through. Now that the planning is done, I can start doing other things like my, you know, we got to get the pantry before, I'm talking 100 miles an hour. My mind's going 90 miles an hour. Before I do any canning whatsoever, or even checking on the freezer, I need to come in here and I need to rotate this out. I need to take, you know, kind of like a visual inventory of what I got, what I need to pass on to my kids to get used up before I start canning. And the first thing I'm going to be canning is the beautiful beef bones that I have in the freezer. We're going to make some beautiful beef broth with that. And that'll be the start of the canning season. In the meantime, I have got tons of stuff that I'm going to be freeze drying because our big freeze dryer literally is going to be here within the next couple days. Also, I am going to can some of that beef broth, but I'm also going to freeze dry some and see how it turns out in the freeze dryer as powder because that will allow me a lot more room if I freeze dry and powder that up than sitting on my shelves in jars. It'll give me a lot more room and it will last longer. So we're going to do that. Anyway, I'm going to see about calling my friends and see if they want to get a hold of this. Come and get it. It's probably late tonight, but it's still light out. I never did put anything. I think my window, yeah, my window's still open. But because I had that going, and it gets warm in here in the summertime with that going. We're going to be putting these back down in the basement where it's cooler in the basement. And we've got more room because that great big one weighs 375 pounds, that extra large freeze dryer. There's no way it's going to go in here anywhere. So this behind me is all going back downstairs. It was nice while it lasted, but we have to have it downstairs. And then we have to see if we can't find a table, because I don't know if this table here, the stainless table, will hold the big one. I know this one weighs 200 pounds. This weighs 225 pounds. And it holds that one just fine. But I don't think it'd hold the big one. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out. But it is going downstairs anyway. So, you'll see it down there. And then I'll rearrange this and I'll have more room to, store my canned stuff or do whatever. So anyway, you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I rambled on, but I do think I told you everything I needed to tell you. Everything that was going on anyway. And I also got my hair cut today. I think she cut it a little short, but that's all right. It grows back fast. So, and I come out of the salon. She styled it this way, so it's not the way I usually style it. So tomorrow, my hair will be back fluffy again. Because every time, I've got curly hair, okay? Every time I go to the hair salon, when they cut my hair very nice. I like the way they cut my hair. But they always insist on blow drying the curls out of my hair. So I come out with half straight hair. Well, my hair was straight, but it's starting to curl back up again on its own. And when it does, it takes on new direction. I mean, anybody with curly hair can relate to what I just said. You can get away with bedhead with curly hair. So tomorrow I'll have it all back to where I like it, and it feels a little shorter than normal, but that's all right. It's summertime; it'll grow back, and I love it. So you all have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you tomorrow when we do our freezer meals.